Okay, American federal government, we are on what might be the most important chapter that you're going to study this semester. Because, and I wouldn't have said that 20, 10, or even 5 years ago, but I definitely would say it today. It's a chapter on the news media, and the reason it's so important because I'm going to teach you about the legislative branch, the executive branch, judicial branch, political parties, how elections work. But ultimately, you're going to be learning for the rest of your life, and you're going to be trying to inform yourself about our government, our politics, and current events on your own. And you're going to have to do that through the news media. And where you get your information from and what you learn from that is going to be crucial for the survival of our democracy. Because I don't think it's hyperbole to say that that the current landscape of where people get their information from is now putting our democracy under such stress that it is a threat to its very it's an existential threat to its survival. And by that I mean especially conspiracy theories and where people get their news, because it's just unbelievable. When I grew up, you had 4 networks: ABC, NBC, CBS, and PBS, and then you had your major newspapers that people would read, or your local newspapers as well, and the AP, the Associated Press. So people agreed on a kind of a common set of facts, and there were always these fringe movements and things like that, but they were all out at the fringe, hence the name. And these have often become now more recently mainstream. And the video you're going to watch this week is a really good video. It's called United States of Conspiracy, and it takes a look at Alex Jones. And when he started, you'll see, by saying that the Oklahoma City bombing was an inside job. 9/11 was actually plotted by the government. And then you think that would be the end of him, but it wasn't. It actually, because right about that time, more people are going to the internet. And as you'll see in the film, then he attracts this following. And then he actually becomes mainstream, which to me is so upsetting that someone that claims that Oklahoma City bombing was an inside job, or that 9/11 was somehow a government plot, that they become mainstream and they become embraced by mainstream politicians, is just crazy to me, because it's even more than that. Because then you had Sandy Hook, and there's all these conspiracies that this is a government ploy, that it didn't happen, and that it's really about trying to take people's guns. And this stuff is out there, and it's just out of control. And the reason we have to address it, because there's something like at least 30% of Americans believe this. I just still have trouble coming to grips with that. Many of you watching this video may believe this, and I don't know what to tell you if you are a conspiracy theorist, that you delve into this, because you can't argue with the conspiracy theorists, because they'll say it's all part of the conspiracy. And what does it lead to? Why is this such a threat? Well, first of all, this idea that Sandy Hook is an inside job and everything. Alex Jones lost $1 billion lawsuit because of this. But even after he says that, other conspiracies. Obama wasn't born in this country. It was another one that was circulating around that time, and it was perpetrated by Donald Trump. Even after all of that, then Alex Jones says that the election is stolen, and Trump says the election is stolen, and then COVID is behind this government plot. And then just this week, you're hearing a lot of things about Israel and Palestine and the violence that has erupted there, and this fuels further into those conspiracy theories. You can see the threat it faces to our democracy, because this, as you see in the video, really led to January 6th, the insurrection because millions of people believed these things. And it's not over. This threat is not over because the same people continue to believe this lie that the election was stolen or that COVID's a government plot to implant microchips instead of vaccines, and all of these things that are out there. Not everybody believes wholeheartedly in some of this, but millions of people believe in tidbits of it too. And it's extremely dangerous. Where you get your information from is so important. The news media is not the enemy of the people. Reporters and press, I watch the PBS NewsHour. I read the New York Times, Washington Post, and I listen to NPR. I look for reliable sources, and the reporters that work for them, they're doing their best to try to risk their lives, often bringing us news from war-torn areas. They are shining a light. The Washington Post, which I read, under its heading, it says, "Democracy dies in darkness." And that's what the press is so important. They're the fourth pillar of government because they shine a light on our democracy. They inform us. And when we have leaders that want to discredit them, they often want to discredit them so that you just believe them. So the press are not the enemy of the people. That's what dictators, and that's actually what Stalin had said, and Putin, in order to try to rally people around what they were saying. But rather, the press is doing the best they can to inform us and to bring us the facts. And so that's really, really important point. So as you watch the film, it's a really, really good film. It's a timely film. It's an important film. I don't know if all the students watch this introductory video as you're supposed to. I've shown this film for the last couple years since the 2020 insurrection, 2021. So, and this film came out not long after that. And I'll have, I've got in American federal government, I've got about 60 students. I'll probably have at least 10 to 20 that will back up Jones and back up conspiracy theories. And I'll give them an F. And so I'm warning you, if you want to go on believing that, you can, but this class is based on facts. And part of the lesson on the news media is media literacy. And if you tell me that Alex Jones is legit, or that the election was stolen, or that COVID is government plan to plant microchips for a new world order and all this stuff, you have failed media literacy. And it makes me sad because I can't break through to these people, but what I can do is have my class and my scoring based on facts, just as journalists try their best to base things on facts as well, and not delve down into the Alex Jones types of conspiracy theories, which is so sad. I read a book on Newtown on Sandy Hook and the families and what happened to them, and people like Alex Jones are just truly, really, the pain and suffering that they've caused to people is unbelievable. I'm glad to at least see that he had lost that lawsuit and that maybe he might end up going bankrupt for this behavior. So that's so important, class. The rest of your life, where you get your information from, YouTube, you see things shared on Facebook and people buy into that. The more educated people are, usually the less likely they are to believe it, but not always. So it's just the best I can do. So I hope you enjoy the documentary, and if you find it as upsetting as me, then we've made some progress. All right, have a good week.